So we've got this tariff narrative that's going on that initially affected the market negatively when the markets thought we were going to put it on. Then we took them off for Canada and Mexico, and the markets responded. Then the China thing, when I don't know what's going to happen with China. So far, the China news, really a non-plus. The Europe news, down, really nothing yet. So far, nothing burger, right? So that's kind of what's happening. But if you watch the VIX is really cool because if you want to know what's going on with how the markets are viewing tariffs, just take a look at the hourly VIX. That's all you got to do. This is it right here. Okay. We're going to tariff Canada and Mexico. Uh-oh, but no, we're not because they're going to agree to do A, B, and C. Okay, down she goes. I mean, just watch the hourly VIX. That could have been here, by the way. I forget exactly the day. But just watch the hourly VIX, okay? So obviously investors are not all that concerned the last few days until Friday when you saw a little bit of an uptick of it, a little bit of concern there. The concern kind of briefly went down yesterday, but now you're getting a little bit of concern here. So when you get this kind of action, down, up, you get this kind of coiling of fear. There's a squeeze here, that's compression. You get a squeeze here, that's compression. So if you look at where did compression release to in these two moments, forget about down here, but in the last, since here, right? If you look, it released, check it out. Initially, this coiling right in here released to the upside. And then when you were up here and you had a little bit of a pullback, and then when you pulled back, I know this looks like it went down, but it went back up like that. Look at price action. Right after that, right here is where the compression is. What did it do? It gapped up this morning. It went up a little and then it pulled back a little bit. So this is kind of getting ready for something. If you are a studier of price action, you will kind of take a look at this and go, what does this represent? Like if you go to this and then this, like this could potentially take off. So I want you to keep your eyes on the VIX. Now also understand that the number one mover of the large index, the main indexes, SPY and QQQ, and the big cap stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, Nvidia, Amazon, are ruled by the VIX. Because right now, as we sit here today in this market, yeah, Papa John, it's kind of a flag, yeah. When the VIX breaks certain levels, that triggers algorithms to sell big cap stocks, the mega caps, which in turn, they're so heavily weighted in the indexes, it affects SPY and QQQ, not so much the Russell. So if you start to see some nervousness with investors, maybe Powell, I think Powell goes in front of the House tomorrow. Today he's in front of the Senate. I'll get to that in a second. Tomorrow, I think he's speaking in front of the House. If he says something that leads people to believe that something's going on with inflation or whatever, and investors say, you know what, I'm not buying this shit for a minute. If you see the VIX starting to go, it'll start triggering algorithms to sell off the SPY and the Qs along with Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So that's why we really have to watch the VIX. The dollar, on the other hand, as I wrote in my alert, is a bit let's just say non-committal. So we look at the dollar, fairly non-committal. It was going higher and higher and higher. That's bad. That's inflationary. Came down, pulled back a little bit, skyrocketed back up. Are things going to really go up? And then when they failed here before it hit the Bollinger, that gave me a signal to that we are going to see kind of this lower high pattern, even though this was a higher low. This is now going to be another lower high. The question is, where do we go from here? Does it take out this and make a lower low, which would confirm the dollar going lower? Would confirm it. It hasn't yet. So what can we look to? When we look today, we were a little uncertain as the markets did what it did in the overnight, right? Kind of up and down and whatever. But you saw initially before Powell spoke, kind of up. The dollar was sort of, flat, hit this level. But then he started to talk at about, 10 o'clock or so. And you see the dollar coming down here. You see the dollar coming down here. And Powell started right here. And the dollar started to drop. The Russell's down a little bit, but the diamonds are up ever so slightly. It's not really going anywhere. So we're not sure what the dollar is doing just yet. What I want to see as proof is, and yeah, as Michael pointed out, we are getting some consolidation, but it's only one dot. Look where you are. You are literally sitting on top of the daily 50. Now, it has kind of dipped below the 50 and then gone up, dipped below the 50 and gone back up. But each time that it's done that, it's gotten lower. So if we dip back below the 50 again, that's the first shoe to drop. And then if you make a lower, let's say you take out that level right there, 107.5, let's just say, that would be an indication that the dollar is going down. If you combine the dollar going down with yields, let's just say going up, and then the VIX spikes and causes the markets to go down, there's your formula. Then you know dollar down is bad, yields going up, bad, because the VIX responded and went up and everything went down. Okay? If dollar goes down and then the yields reverse like this, and the VIX go up, then you know dollar down, yields down, that is bad news. That if that causes the VIX to go up and do this. So what we want is some confirmation. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? We just don't know with certainty until we can look at the other indicators. So let's check out yields. Now, yields popped, I believe, in anticipation of Powell. That's not a good thing. Yields going up at this stage of the game is not a good thing. Not when the administration and the President of the United States requests.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.